Hi, how are you? Today I'm going to cover about lissencephaly spectrum. We are doing some set of neuroradiology, especially pediatric cases as case-based review. This is one among them. So I'm going to cover entire spectrum of lissencephaly, but in this session, due to the time limitations, I'm going to cover only classic type 1 lissencephaly. Rest I will be covering into the later videos. Initially I thought of covering all into two, but now it might be four, so this is the first one among them. So this is a case based review which is slightly difficult, not very basic but intermediate level. So the current patient today which we are discussing is a 2 months old male child who is a term baby, presented with seizures and delayed milestones. This history is also very typical, which is replicates in most of the cases like this. So this is a T2 weighted MRI. So what is your impression about this? Here you cannot see any sulcal spaces. The gyri are not distinct at all. This is brain is showing figure of 8 appearance with a shallow sylvian fissure. The ventricular system is prominent. There is some subependymal cyst. The cortex appears thick with a pencil layer of hyperintensity in the subcortical layer. So this is what classically type 1 lissencephaly of high grade looks like. So here normally this is one of the classical example. There are more things to see in this. This is a classical example of saying that eyes can't see what the mind does not know. So normally the cortex contains 6 layers, but MRI wise we cannot discretely see in those layers, but here you can make out 4 layers, at least 3 layers. So lissencephaly, unlike the classical normal brain which contains 6 layers, this contains only 4 layers. This is the first layer, which is subpial molecular layer, which is a pencil line, and the second line is thin outer cortex. We cannot discretely see in subpial molecular layer from thin outer cortex of pyramidal neurons. The third layer, which is consistently seen in all the cases of lissencephaly, is no cellular zone or cell sparse zone. That is the reason it is hyperintense and T2 weighted image. So below that there is a thick cortex, thick band of inner band of the cortex which contains mainly neurons. So this is 4 layers, 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, predominantly the constituents of the thickened cortex in lissencephaly, whereas the adult normal cortex or pediatric cortex contains 6 levels, 6 layers of the cortex which are much thinner than this. There are subependymal germinolytic cyst type things, conatal cysts, and mild prominence of the ventricular system and periventricular hyperintensities. So this is another sections, upper sections of the same patient. You can see the same cell sparse zone, prominent ventricular system. Prominent ventricular system is very common accompaniment in these cases, and some sort of corpus callosal abnormalities also very common in this type of patients, which you need to look in the sagittal to commit before normal corpus callosum. Figure of 8 appearance, periventricular hyperintensities, everything is seen just like the previous section. This is T1 weighted. You can see this is, even though this is very underdeveloped brain, from the cortical side the white matter is taking its own course. The posterior limb of ventral capsule and part of the thalamus is myelinated already, which you expect around 1 to 2 months baby. So there is no problem with the white matter. There could be some periventricular white matter in cell because of the exaggeration of periventricular or residual white matter of the 1 month, 2 month old child, which you can expect like this. So nothing major other than that in these sessions. We need to see cerebellum. Cerebellum development is very much important in lissencephaly, because some of the cases will have small cerebellum. There is a spectrum with lissencephaly with small cerebellum. Here the flare does not show anything. This patient does not show any hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy signs now and then. And this is germinolytic cyst, which could be sometimes incidental, sometimes this is the where it starts the migration of the neuron towards to the center. There could be some insult, sometimes it is incidental findings. Flare does not show any obvious abnormality. So the diagnosis is type 1 classic lissencephaly. So this is a variable spectrum. What I have shown is the most severe complete agaric lissencephaly. Sometimes we can have a pachygyria and thick inner band of the gray matter surrounded by cell sparse zone and thin outer layers, 2 layers of the gray matter. As we already discussed all these things, you can have corpus callosal agenesis, hypoplasia, and it could be variable in different lobes. There could be some gradient between frontal and parietal regions. This has excellent genetic correlation. Genotype phenotype correlation of lissencephaly is very much observed. This is bit advanced. I might cover in further sessions. So these are the features of type 1 lissencephaly. This is another case, companion case. Here what you can see is a similar pattern like previous case, but here you cannot see that cell sparse zone. Their hydrocephalus is much more, ventriculomegaly. There could be underlying abnormality in the ventricles. Baby is also affected, the second case, by intraventricular hemorrhages in T1 weighted images. Here you can see B0 or T2 weighted images are showing intraventricular hemorrhages. So this slide is very important. This I made a very nice drawing with the request of this gentleman. So here you can see we need to grade. When you say lissencephaly, there is a variable grade of developmental delays, the variable grade of heterotropias, many other accompaniment. So to make you understanding or to make a clear statement between you and clinician, we need to have a different grading. The grade 1 is the highest grade, which is Ageria. Grade 2 to 3 are Ageria Pachygeria complex. When you are not sure, you can use this term Ageria Pachygeria, or you can use simply Pachygeria when they are sufficient. Here little bit circle spaces are formed, here more circle spaces, here much more circle spaces. Some heterotropia nodule are also demonstrated in this picture. So this is very important. So whenever you find, it's good to grade so that you can denote the severity of the heterotropia. So I have taken multiple cases to show the different grades. This is one, our case. This is the last month case, which is grade 2. Little bit circle spaces are started forming. This is much better than this, and this is for nearly normal circle pattern but thick cortex, which could also be due to polymicrogyria. So this is the different grading of lissencephaly 1 to 4. Classically, lissencephaly, this is what we have discussed till now. There could be some variants. When there is no cell sparse layer, you call it variant lissencephaly. There is another syndrome called Miller-Dieker syndrome, which is associated with facial anomalies. You don't need to remember all these syndromes. When you find lissencephaly, we can look into the literature and label a particular syndrome if it is required. Most of the patients present with seizure and developmental delay. This is entirely different form from the type 2, which we are going to discuss in the next session. Basically, there is a migration of the cortical or neurons from the corticothalamic groove and germinal layers towards to the outer layers of the cortex in a particular manner between 5 to 22 weeks. When it is disrupted, you do see this type of abnormality. There are some special associations with the lissencephaly, which we can look in detail in this slide. Lissencephaly with microcephaly, this is the last month's case. This is also called microlissencephaly. So it's a very common accompaniment, lissencephaly with microcephaly. Here you see there is a certain amount of the lissencephaly, very less sulci are found, or simplification of the gyral pattern also it's called, and it is associated with significant cerebellar hypoplasia. This is called lissencephaly with cerebellar hypoplasia. These are specific genetic syndromes. When you have particular genetic syndrome, morphologically it affects like that. It's not uncommon to see this condition. So all these which we are discussing comes under a group called malformation of the cortical development, lissencephaly, Ageria, Pachygyria. Even heterotropia of band type falls into the same spectrum. Polymicrogyria, post-migrational issues and other issues, Scheisencephaly. So I'm going to discuss in detail corticogenesis and how these abnormalities are classified based on the different stages in detail in the coming session. That's all for now. Thank you very much.